Klaus Schwab's life by subscription, quote, is really serfdom. It's slavery. Billionaire globalist corporations will own everything. Homes, factories, farms, cars, furniture. And everyday citizens will rent what they need, if their social credit score allows. The plan of the Great Reset is that you will die with nothing. You will own nothing and be happy. One Nation advocates the Great Resist.
The Great Resist. Here's the good news. We are at the tip of the spear of the Great Resist. Now, it seems weird, and that's why I always say it's like, how weird is it to be in Bitcoin right now? At the tip of the spear, when really the consensus of the mass population, what's going on with these comments? I must have touched something. There we go. There we go. Now I can sleep at night. The tip of the spear. Here we are with the Great Resist in the illusion of democracy. Your true voting power is where you put your money. And where do we put our money? Well, I would say the majority of these people are taking what they have above their burn rate in Bitcoin. That is how we vote our way into the Great Resist. If you don't have it, I really feel this is why it's so crazy. When I've been kind of amping up my conversations with normies, you know, even some friends, close friends, I'll be like, it's not going to really get much better than this as far as getting into Bitcoin at a price that you can maybe live with yourself and be okay with. Not that they're going to buy a Bitcoin or anything, but just exposure to it, getting off zero. I try to get them to it, and I find that as time moves on, as the price gets away, speaking of the Great Resist, I feel like the wall of resistance into the idea gets bigger for the normies, as the price escapes them, because they don't really understand that you don't have to have one Bitcoin. What is the metric on one Bitcoin now? 0.027% of the population can possibly attain a Bitcoin point. Is it 0.02 or 0.27? I think it's 0.027, something like that. I could be wrong. These things change as Michael Saylor comes in and buys more real estate in Manhattan. That number will dissipate. Can you imagine all that Bitcoin that one man has? And here we are sitting, we're trying to get the normies off zero. That's why it's bizarre. It's bizarre trying to convince people. I mean, I feel like I've done, collectively we've done our part in trying to get people where they have to go. and you can only, I actually said this to my niece and nephew. It was another one of their birthdays. And so I got them something for their cold storage wallet, right? Which they don't have. So all their birthdays, I'll always buy them Bitcoin. And I'll say, listen, unless you have a cold storage, it's not your keys, not your coin. So all you have to do is get a cold storage, and then zoink, you get it. Until then, it's not in your wallet. It's on an exchange. And I said that this old horse has led you young horses to water. Now it's up to you to go and get that ledger. Will they? My prediction is no. I don't think they will. I don't think they care. So to a certain degree, they live on a concentric circle that their needs are taken care of. And I really think that when your needs start to be sacrificed by reality or fiat currency, you start to wonder, well, what the hell's going on here? I didn't sign up for this. I was told if I did this, things would work out. Of course, everything that we've ever really been told has been a lie. That's why it's so fascinating to be on the tip of the spear, because there's something contagious about the knowledge of Bitcoin, right? So the concept of the apex predator, the financial apex predator, to quote Michael Saylor, it's an apex predator. Now, you can't be affected by that concept, and it can't not permeate the rest of your critical thinking. so to speak. You know, you can't be aware of this apex predator and not carry that concept of apex predation into all aspects of your life. For instance, that's how I gravitated towards the carnivore diet. Was, okay, if there's what is the apex predator when it comes to nutrition? Turns out everything I was told was a lie. I was told that fat was not good for you, and steak, it did everything left of killing you instantly. And I'm like, wow, how could I have been so wrong, right? But this is the great thing about a Bitcoin. Every day you learn how wrong you've been. It's really a humbling experience being in Bitcoin, because what you think you know is completely backwards, and every day is a learning experience. And that's what changes you as a investor and as a human being. You become humbled to your own lack of knowledge. Holy smokes, I didn't know that. And it's amazing. So I somewhat get excited. It's like, okay, well, what don't I know now? What don't I know now? And I'm sure I'll find out every day. So the apex predation aspect of nutrition goes to everything. Like think about, I always think of Wick at his bank. In a sea of normies, there's Wick. And he has his Bitcoin knowledge, his crypto knowledge, his experience. Yet he's still, The reason why I bring him up is because I feel like that when I'm out, like I'm having conversations with people about, I don't know, the birds chirping or the sun's not as hot as they want, when really I'm like, you got to get off zero, buddy. You got to get off zero. Wick's wife, smash the like button for the best Michael Saylor impersonation on YouTube. Can you imagine one day me doing an interview with Michael Saylor about buying cyber real estate in Manhattan? Is Wick here? Yes, he is. He says, y'all, it's wild seeing this stuff work and people being steered by market forces, allowing themselves to be steered. Yes, that's the crazy part. Are they allowing themselves to be steered because they don't know any better? Or, this is what I usually come to. They want to be steered. They don't want to. That's the thing about, Bitcoin. The hard reality is that self-sovereignty is not an easy job. It's not easy. You're really left out in the weeds. But I like that, because I've always been left out in the weeds. With all my white male privilege, I didn't get anything handed to me. It's always been hard. So to me, that's normal. There's no money coming from anywhere. You got to, do the work. And I think what happens is that when you're used to doing the work, you develop a habit for working. And it's as cliched as it is, it's its own reward. Sneaky Pete Vaporizers. I want Matty B to do both parts of an interview between Peterson and Saylor. Well, that's interesting because they have similar voices. And I can't really knock down Peterson's, because if it's all up here, right? It all kind of comes from up here, which is right behind your nasal passage. However, there's a little more grit to Jordan Peterson. See, every time I go there, it kind of deviates back to some sort of weird impersonation of Matthew McConaughey, because that's the one that have that in the back of their throat. Now it sounds like Bill Clinton. Every time you have that type of, the fry, I think they call it the vocal fry. When you just let it fry like that, that's called a vocal fry. Anyway, we are having what some legacy analysts call a little breakout. Now, we did hit what we thought we leaving us with some bearish premonitions. First off is this double top or M pattern, which has a price probability of 62.7, which is, oh boy, the 23.6% fib, and good grief, it's the 50 moving average. for a combined total of 3 bearish confluences, plus the overarching bearish divergence on the MACD and RSI as price action is making higher highs while both indicators are carving out lower highs. Lord love a duck if she didn't do just that. Where did it actually go down to? 62.68. So it was off by $20. But this is not magic. This is not magic. This is the 23.6% fib. I sometimes wonder when I harp ad nauseum about Fibonacci's whether some people are in disbelief, because I was for a long time. It's like, that can't be. Can't be. These Fibonacci's, where are you getting them from? Well, the orchestration of the universe is embridled by the Fibonacci numbers. And that's all that happens. So we get rejected from here. This is what I'm looking for today. See here, we are currently, look at these 30-year-old drunken birthday girl wicks. They just can't get their shit together over this resistance line. We got to close some candles. That will be the indicator that maybe the bulls and the old algos, because retail's not here. Remember that without retail here, we are kind of watching the robot quant bots buy. Broken resistance, must buy. China has stimmies to their population, must buy. So we're right there. We'll know when retail comes. It'll be the last to the party, because that's how retail works. They don't find out about the party till it's almost too late, and they become the 30-year-old birthday girl drunken wick at the top. I heard there's a party. Let's go. It's going to be unbelievable. I think it might be over, one of the smart retail says. Oh, no, you're crazy. It's just beginning. Trust me. Trust me. It's just beginning. Over on the Ding Dong too, you can see, you know what? This is 3 candle closes over the 200. I've been going on and on ad nauseum about closing candles over the 200. And so here we are. Now we have to worry about this. This is the one shakeout that we could see. So if we go back here, the last time we closed some candles over the 200, we were peaking out at 64.4. That's why I've been going on and on ad nauseum about 64.4. It really is a crucial metric to break. And when we didn't break it, we had a leg down, and what does the market do? It looks for fatigue in the sellers, which happened around here. We went on and on about that being the potential bottom swing. And then we had this, look at this. This is a lot of green candles on a daily chart. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 red days, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So in 20 days, we only had 6 red candles. That's a lot of action. That's a lot of bullish action for, price not really doing that much. I'll put it that way. There's a little bit of a bearish divergence in how bullish we've been and how price hasn't got there. That's why when I see this line here being, look, okay, so we're above it, but we haven't closed above it. And that's a big thing. We're above it, but we haven't closed above it. So what does this look like to you? Well, to me, it looks like, well, here's a bottom. This looks like a rounded top. It looks like the bulls are like, I don't know. I'm not sure here. Let's wait for some robot quant bots to kick in, and will they or will they not? A couple of levels, if we see continued bullish action today, I wouldn't be surprised to see pan out. Besides, right here, 67.2. That is the old cup and handle pattern. I think I erased it yesterday because of all these doodles. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. I see a cup and handle pattern. I see a head and shoulders in the sky. I'm looking at the moving average convergence. Divergence, the MACD. Whatever that means. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Of course, you would end that song with an overchord for all the jazzy music nerds out there that hated the song when I played it. I hate the song. And then I ended with that. They're like, it's not so bad, actually. It's not so bad. Doodles. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. So that is a goal, 67.2, based on an old cup and handle pattern. But make no mistake, there's a 23.2% or is a 38.2% fib right there at 66.2. So 66.2 is also a price to keep your papers on because that's where we're going to find our first resistance. Now, could we blow past it? I guess, but are we really in the blow past it stage right now? I don't feel like it. I feel like we're in the creeping bullish phase. If there was a flower, it'd be called the creeping bullish. Would you like the creeping bullish? Yes, I would, please. And that's what we're going through right now. And then when we look out and zoom out even more, the importance of this higher high right here, I can't really stress enough, because what would happen is we would see that last maybe September shakeout. I don't want to drink. I don't want to jinx it. But you can see this how these setups happen, right? You don't get the higher top. You start rounding out, and you have a leg down. You exhaust the bulls. They tried their best, the robot quant bulls, that is, and they failed. And so you could see that, September shakeout. A lot of people, what I'm worried about is that because there's so many OGs in this bull run, that have been here last bull run, that are just like, that black guy behind the tree, that meme guy, they're just licking their lips like, October, 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 October. We going to the moon October. We're going to the moon October. Get your chips in. And then, of course, we get that last second dumperoo on everyone that's so bullish on October. So I'm a little worried about that. Couple worries is that we haven't made a higher high. This is a rounding top. We still have September. People are overly bullish. I find like when I go on X, there's a lot of bullish sentiment. It's like, that's it. We did it. We made it. Now it's time. Parabolic, rise up. And we know it's coming. We know that's coming. But to start, going out on a limb and saying this is happening and this is going to happen, that's when, the universe says, no. You might think you know how things work, but you don't really know how things work at all. So keep this in mind. Being over the 200 moving average is zero. It's zero. It's our starting point. We have to be over the 200. The fact that we're not is very abnormal. Oh, Duck, have you smashed the likes yet, Duck? Really, our next real level where we start to officially break out is resistance at 68.1. So 68.1 is when we can fully start putting on that bullish chapeau and start really rocking and rolling. Until then, we are susceptible to bullish fatigue and bearish oompapa. Alexandra, top G, your chord is E flat major 7th. Just so you know, I don't want you to forget that. If anyone ever asks, no one ever will, but if anyone ever asks, Alexandra, do you have a key that represents your, do you have a chord that represents your personality, overarching take and worldview? Actually, I do. It's E flat major 7th. Oh, could I add in? Is that the 9th? I would add the C too. Just, you don't need to tell them. Just the E flat major 7th, but in your back of your mind, go add the C. It's a nice chord. I always like E flat major 7th. It reminds me of the holistic neighbor that wears borderline see-through smocks and has an overabundance of heirloom tomatoes that she's always trying to give to all her neighbors, right? You wonder why, and you see her garden. You never see her backyard. But one day when she says, hey, come grab some tomatoes, I got some for you, and you go in the back, it's like, hallelujah. Just this unbelievable garden. That's E flat major 7th. In case you're wondering, now here's where we start to get a little bullish, because here's what happens when you're on the 4-hour chart. It's like, you're biting your nails. I don't like this. I don't like this 4-hour chart. It looks like things are bad. Then you go zoom out a bit on the ding dong, and you realize, oh well, we are currently above the 200 moving average. That's pretty good. I remember Matty B saying as long as we're over 64.4, and we're currently at 64.4, so it's not as bad as the 4-hour chart, but that's a noisy little so-and-so, that 4-hour chart. Let's check out the weekly. Holy smokes, look at this. Now, this may not seem like anything. If you were on the 4-hour chart or the ding-dong daily chart, you'd be like 3 green candles in a row. That's nothing. We just had 20 days of green candles, minus 6 on the daily chart. But when we go back to this epic and boring, maybe the most boring time of this bear market was when we hit all-time highs and just sat there. Look at this. We haven't had 3 green candles except for this one. But this is, you can't see this because of the... Let's get some doodles, a.k.a. astrology for men. Right here is a long wick. So it was, it's actually pretty bullish now I think about it, because we fought back. But make no mistake, a red candle straight from Satan's collection himself took us all down. So here we are with 3. This is a pretty bullish third weekly candle if we were to close above 64.4. Now here's where it gets really bullish. Over on the monthly chart. If you like watching economic paint dry as much as I do, you always look at the monthly chart, because that's really, if I were to sit down with someone who needed convincing about price action, I would just zoom out onto a monthly chart and go, this is what Bitcoin does. I wouldn't show them this, obviously. Does Sailor have a chord? Yes, he does. Sailor's chord is a minor chord, because I find there's a masculine sense in a minor chord, because it's more like it has strife, it has depth, it is a provider, a caretaker, so to speak, a minor chord. I would probably have to say it's a minor 7th, because the 7th gives it a certain degree of questionability. So here's a minor chord. I'm going to go on a limb and say he's E minor 7th. Add the 9th, and I'll show you why. This is E minor. It's kind of straightforward. Strong. It's a strong chord. E minor 7th. Adds a little bit of vulnerability. Like, hold on, buddy. I'm in the midst of describing a man's chord.
But this is a minor.
True, but I'm doing E minor 7th. So now... the reason why he adds a 9 is because it's you never know what's going to happen. And the 9th is the most kind of auspicious sounding part of a minor chord. Watch. See, that's the 9th.
Dada?
Yeah, buddy.
Can you get the song?
Yeah, that's Astrology for Men. Do you remember it? Let's try it.
Let's do some doodles, a.k.a. Sorry.